Good morning, students. Last Friday, we completed the first chapter of economics, that is the village Palampur. It was also about the resources, factors of production, by giving you the case study of imaginary village Palampur. In the same sequence, again, I am moving with the second chapter of economics, people as resource. In economics, 4 chapters are there, and in that in these 4 chapters, first 2 chapters will be included as your first semester exam, or the exams which will include the half syllabus. So 4 chapters are there in economics, 2 will be considered here and 2 for the next. So first I am completing this second chapter. So moving further to the second chapter, people as resource. So dear student, if I talk about resource, first you tell me, what do you mean by resource? You learned this term in your last class also, resource, and in the first one chapter also we come to know about the term of resource. What is resource basically? Resource are the things around us which fulfill our needs, which satisfied our needs, are called resource. Okay, so here we are talking about the very important resource. You remember that in the last chapter you learn about the 4 resources, mainly the 4 major factors of production as a resource also, where you learn first is a land resource, second you learn as a labor resource, third you learn as the physical capital, and fourth you learn the human capital. And there also first chapter we come to know about that among, if I talk about all the 4 factors of production, the first one, human resource, is unique one, is very important and must beyond rest of 3. Why this one is important? This one is unique one because only human resource can use or can make better use of other resources. Otherwise, if human resource is not there, then there is, what is the use of plants, what is the use of other natural resources, what is the use of land in itself, what is the use of trees or the forest in itself. So whatever the natural resources we are having around us, that all are having utility because of human resource. Human resource in both the manner that first, in 2 manner we are counting it. In both the manner, human resource is unique one because if I talk about the consumption, first is in case of consuming the things. If human resource is not there, then who will consume all these natural resources? So for the consumption purpose, for the consuming purpose also, first importance is for human resource. तो हम first value count कर रहे हैं किसकी? Human resource की. And as well as second, because only human can convert, that you learn in the last chapter also, because human can change, transform or convert other resources, okay, into more usable resources. So these are the 2 main factors. Human resource is unique one because human resource only can change the other resources into more utility, and the consuming is also done by the human resource. So human resource is very important. Okay, so here in this chapter we are going to talk about people as resource. So now if I talk about people as resource, as it's our chapter, so if I talk about people as resource, so when we talk about people is simply refers as population. No need to tell you, if I talk about people, you understand that people means population, or population means population as a whole. If I talking about in case of India, the population of India. If I talking about as a globe or whole world, then population of the world. So people means the population, and here the population as a whole, population of India. And when we talk about resource, what do you mean by resource? Anything which can be transformed. Transform means change. ट्रांसफॉर्म का मतलब क्या होता है? चेंज. सो एनीथिंग विच कैन बी ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड और चेंज इनटू बेनिफिट्स which fulfill our needs, which satisfied our needs with the more utility is called resource. Okay, so the two terms should be very clear. First of all, people means population. On population we are counting as a whole, and resource is anything which can be transformed into benefit. Now when these resources, when these all natural resources transform into benefit, then they are pronounced as asset. तब हम उनको क्या कहते हैं? Asset. Okay, you can see here that asset is term when they are. What's the differences between asset and liability? I have written here two term. You can see here I written here liability and I have written here asset. What the difference between both the term? इन दोनों terms में क्या difference है? If I talk about the liability means simply a burden. What is liability? Liability is a burden. And what is means of asset? Asset means which return to us with a good income. Okay. A simple example if I talk about, to understand the difference between liability and asset, which is connected with the topic of the chapter, our topic of the second chapter. So when I talk about the difference between liability and asset, suppose if I talk about a piece of land, I have a plot area of a 2000 square feet. Okay, what would you say in that case? Is it asset or liability? One side I'm showing you the piece of land of a 2000 square feet in a proper city place or in a main town area. Or second side, if I talk about the example of liability, suppose I am having a car or a cell phone or a house. Anything could be there. So what thing will be considered as a liability? A house, a car, a phone, or a piece of land. What will be liability and what will be considered as an asset? Yes, my dear, here a piece of land, a plot is an asset. Why it is asset? Because the value of the land is always as an increasing value. The value of the land will never deteriorate. ओके जो लैंड पीस मैंने अगर आज की डेट में है, सपोज दैट पीस एनी पीस ऑफ लैंड इफ आई हैव परचेज ऑफ रुपीज 15 lakhs, surely the value will be increased in every year and the value after the 10 years will be approximately just near to double. Okay, maybe double or near to double. That is asset. So such particular things which is increasing our profit, giving us profit, or we can say provide us income indirectly, is called asset. Okay, and if I talk about the liability, that term of liability means where we invest at a single time but after that the value as in a deteriorate form. Deteriorate, for an example, if I talk about a house, I constructed a newly house, a well modern with that is installed with so many modern facilities. Now after whatever the amount is invested over there, if I invested the 70 lakhs rupees for the construction of that house, then what will be the value of after 10 years? Value will be as an increasing form or a decreasing form? Surely as a decreasing form, because after 10 years so many other other new methods, designs will be there, and a person of course surely would like to construct in his or her own. Second, if I talk about a car, if I purchase a car from a showroom today, then if the worth is for 10 lakhs, so the value just after 2 months will not provide me the same 10 lakhs, right? 10 lakhs में मैंने परचेज की और जस्ट 2 मंथ में 1 मंथ में मैं उसे अगर फिर से सेल कर देती हूँ, देन इन दैट सेल आउट कंडीशन मुझे वो ओवरऑल 10 लाख नहीं मिलेगा. एंड यू कैन कंसीडर व्हाट विल बी द वैल्यू आफ्टर 5 years. Similarly, if I talk about my cell phone, so all such a things always need repairment, maintenance. which required cost. ओके यानी इन सब चीजों को हम एक बार पहले परचेज करने के लिए इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, देन आफ्टर कंटिन्यूअसली वी आर इन्वेस्टिंग फॉर their maintenance. For its maintenance also we are continuously investing. Our expenses are continuous with such type of items, things, or the property also. So these are liability. So hope you understood properly the difference between liability and asset. Now it is connected with the term of population and resource. Now if I am talking about the population of India, the maximum population of India is generally considered as a liability. Why this is liability? Because the government of India is investing on the population. India is having a huge population, and the government is continuously investing or always invest over that, but population in return not able to produce or not much productive. At the same time, the same population with the proper investment can be termed as asset. Like in case of Japan, if I take the example of two countries, population of India, population of Japan. Okay, in case of India, maximum there is a huge population, but that population is not a perfect or healthy population. That population not with the very good skill or we can say that ability. That whole the peoples are not highly educated. Even most of them are not even literate. So such a population how can be considered a good asset? How such a population can produce or support the economy of the country? At the same time, if I take a second example in case of other country, that is Japan. So there you can see that in case of Japan is not having much of natural resources. Most of its natural resources it import from other countries. It purchased from other countries. बहुत ही rare और limited amount में resources, natural resources जापान के पास हैं. Most of purchase करता है. After that, Japan is a developed country and with the advancement. How? Why? Because the government of the Japan invested on its resource, that is human resource. And how it is invested? Via the investment was done by education and medical facilities. The two main investments are how we can form the human capital. So we can form the human capital mainly by two factors. These two factors is first education and second is medical. Okay. Beyond it, we can consider some other type of skills and trainings providing to the human so that their efficiency could be improved or increased. So, if human capital formation will be done via proper investment through education or proper medical facilities, then of course such a population could be with a better productivity and support to the economy of the country. Like in case of Japan, every person of Japan is anyhow as in a working as in a productive manner. They are working efficiently. So such a population is not liability on the government. In fact, it is asset for the government, right? But in case of in our country India, we are talking population is here considered as a liability. Why it is liability? Because of investment is not proper. Government is not able to have a proper investment as education or providing the better medical facilities. As at present time also you are seeing that due to that COVID-19, how the lower class, even the middle class are also suffering a lot, and they are not self-dependent. They are dependent on others for their survival. You can see the conditions or survival is very difficult for the poorer section of the society, for the laborer classes, all those who are the daily workers working or earning on the daily basis and fulfilling their needs related to the food, so they are facing a lot of problem. And to fulfill that food need, anyhow government is trying to providing a limited amount, whatever that is, the 500 in their account, 1000 in their account, providing the wheat and rice to such poor families. So this is the burden on the government. What is it? This is basically a burden on the government, which can be considered as a liability. Now it's clear that what is the means of liability and asset. So in this way, to transform into resource, we need investment. If we want to transform that population into resource, or if we want to generate a human capital, so for the human capital formation, we need two basic investment. These two basic investment via education and medical facilities by providing the better skill and trainings. Okay, so I shown to you here by proper examples, giving you proper example. Hope you understood it. Am I right? So in this way, this chapter is about this people as resource. So people is of course considered as a very important and a unique resource for any country. Now thing is that if there is a huge population in a country, so such a population is generally taken with the liabilities, with the burden, and in that condition we ignore the benefits of that populations also. That could be considered as a positive manner also if it is converted into asset, only then. Okay, very simple example. Secondly, I'm giving you like in case of China also. Okay, China is also having a huge population, the first populated country we are counting here. So with that huge population, after having that huge population, China invested properly, and the Chinese population is not only the population, that is the quality of population, because the people are working with the good efficiency. They are working with the good efficiency. They are very productive, supporting to the economy at a lower level or higher level or whatever. But anyhow they are self-dependent. Okay, so similarly in case of India also, if I talk about in case of India, people as a population as a whole, it's not a liability, can be converted into asset by making them self-dependent. And Modi ji started the to make the proper productive population, quality of population, initiated the Skill India program. You listen that program also, news wise also. That is the Skill India program. In that Skill India program, they had started to providing the particular skill and ability so that the person could be develop themselves. Now just 2 days back also, at a evening time 8 o'clock, you seen that again and policy was initiated to make the people self-dependent. Government initiated to anyhow the crores of investment, fixed a budget for the crore of investment, so that people could develop themselves. Indian people, small businesses and small workers also could develop themselves. So in this way, the last also Skill India program was initiated. So if the policies will be initiated properly, then surely the population of the country which is considered as a liability can be turned into asset, and in that condition the developing nation of our country surely be a developed nation. Okay, so if I talk about the points of the chapter, your chapter is going through these main points. First is a human resource. Human with their skill and abilities are known as human resource. Now it's clear to you. Human capital. So what is human capital? That is the same. Now human capital is superior. Why? How? That is also clear. Because only human can make best use of other resources or the natural things. Without the human or the human resource, there is no utility of other resources. A land is only a piece of land. A forest is only a forest, a tree is only a tree, and a rest of other natural resources could be in itself not having much utility if there is no human resource. So human resource is unique one, and human capital is a superior one, because only human capital can make the best use of other resources. Point next is in your text is talking about how can we form human capital investment. So how can we form the human capital? So human capital can be formed via investing through two factors: education, health. Okay, how can we form the human capital? Human capital formation can be done via two basic factors: education and health. Now suppose if you're having 3 marks question, sometimes in your question paper you are having the 1 mark question, 3 mark question and 5 mark question. Okay, suppose this question is having for the 3 marks, that how we can form the human capital formation. So you need to write the 3 points. One, you can explain the education, explain it. Second is health, and third, what could be the third? Third, you can write the skill or training. Okay, these are the basically 2 points, but to answer the 3 marks question you need to write there ट्रेनिंग ऑल्सो. आप यहाँ पे क्या ऐड कर सकते हैं? ट्रेनिंग ऐड कर सकते हैं, तो आपके 3 पॉइंट्स हो जाते हैं. So what is education and how education? Because it's very clear to you, a educated person could perform better. His thinking ability or logical thinking will develop, and he could betterly invest and betterly do efforts for the earning also, and similarly support to the economy of the country. Second is the health. Health is a very, very important, because unhealthy person cannot do work betterly. And you can take in case of your health also. If you are not healthy, can you be able to sit properly or sit attentively for the study, for the play? Surely not. So if you are not healthy, if we are not healthy, then we cannot do any work with efficiency, with the ability. So health is very important for the human capital formation. And if I talk about the training, so providing the better skill to the people, or providing the better training so that they could produce in a nice manner, in a better, with the better efficiency. For here, suppose if I talk, आपको एक हम एग्जाम्पल के थ्रू समझाएं. सपोज human capital investment via education, health and training. A person earlier, suppose any person earlier was earning when he was not having good education and training. जब उसके पास बहुत अच्छी educated नहीं था, वो only literate था, or not having such a good skill, then also he was producing shirts. So he was producing 5 shirts per day, and for the 5 shirts earning 500. What the benefit? 500. That's mean 100 rupees for each shirt. Now after getting the better education and better training, he was able then later on that the 15 shirt per day and 1500 profit also. तो उसका प्रोडक्शन भी बढ़ गया, उसकी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी भी बढ़ गई. हाउ? बाय गेटिंग बेटर एजुकेशन. वो बेटरली सोच पाया. ही वॉज एबल टू यूज द टेक्नोलॉजी प्रॉपरली, टू मैनेज द टाइम ऑल्सो, टू मैनेज द थिंग्स ऑल्सो. सो इन दिस वे, बाय गेटिंग बेटर एजुकेशन एंड ट्रेनिंग, वी कुड परफॉर्म बेटरली and we can produce also, right? So in this way, when we invest on human capital or human resource, we are creating quality of population. Quality of population is not a different thing. Okay, dear student, quality of population already told to you that one, we are talking about a population as in a whole. That population could be where some of the people are well educated, qualified and skilled, abled also. Some were not educated, skilled or abled. So quality of population is referring to that population which is good, qualified, healthy and skilled and able, supporting to the economy of the country, to their family, to their society. Okay, so that is the quality of population. So in this way, human capital formation could be, or human capital investment or human capital could be formed via investing on education and health, as well as providing better skill and trainings. Is it okay, all of you? Now, population can be converted with the term of asset, that already explained to you here by taking example of country Japan. I told you or explained to you how a simple population in place of liability can be termed as asset. So that could be termed as asset when we invest on that population via education and medical facilities or providing better skill and training. Then after that, such type of population will be able to earn properly, to produce properly, to work with efficiency, and then it will support the economy of the country. Thus, it will be considered asset, not a liability. Okay. Now, after knowing all this thing, these 2 points hope very clear to you, that what is the role of education in human capital formation and what is the role of medical facilities in human capital formation. Surely, role of education in human capital formation is must and required. And if I talk to or if I discuss about this point, to understand this concept, you can simply take 2 example. A person who maybe live nearby you is not highly educated, or it may be the condition of a laborer or low educated person, and at the same time you can see a person who is highly educated. So what is the role of education playing in their life? You can understand that because of illiteracy or because a person is not highly educated, so accordingly person is not able to get a good job, not able to think properly also, his logical understanding will be very less also, and because of that lack of education, that person will not be able to earn a better salary, no good job, no good salary. So in this way, education play a very important role for our development. Okay. Similarly, role of medical facilities in human capital formation. Medical facilities, where we talk about the role of health. So our health play a very important role, and that health could be developed by providing better medical facilities. So by providing the better hospitals, hospital is not only the building. Hospital means the proper machines, infrastructures with the presence of doctors and nurses should be available. So that facility could support to the population of the country. So in this way, if we are fit and healthy, we would be able to work with efficiency. But if we are not healthy, how we could perform better? Surely not. So health and education both play a very important role for the development of any individual, for the development of individual develop the society, and that development of that particular society is linked to the development of the country, or anyhow supporting to the economy of the country, right? Now, investment on human capital is similar to the investment on physical capital. It's a very important question, and you will have the 3 mark or as well as the 5 mark question also you may have regarding to this one point, that how do you think investment on human capital is similar to the investment on physical capital? How both the things are same? Because in a short, I can say, because both returns in future and need extra efforts in initial stage. Okay, need extra efforts in early stage, or you can say initial stage. So surely investment on human capital and similar to the investment on the physical capital. To make you clear, explaining an example to you. For example, if I talk about human capital formation, I am taking 2 examples here. First is in case of a farmer. First example I have taken a farmer. That is in case of physical. If I talk about the physical investment, I am taking example of a farmer. ठीक है, वो एक फार्मर का इन्वेस्टमेंट हो सकता है, और इट मे बी द इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑफ अ industrialist or any big businessman. So any type of physical investment. For a simple example, I am taking here the example of farmer. So a farmer in a first early stage, he firstly dig the land. Then after he need after digging the lands, he need the proper sowing of the seed. He will manage the seeds, he will manage the fertilizers, insecticide, pesticide, etc. He will look after the complete agriculture area for 5 to 6 months approximately, from sowing seed to harvesting period. And in between period, he continuously look after the field, continuously pay attention for weeding, harvesting, sowing seeds, and labor charging, and etc. So continuous efforts will be done by the farmer. As a result, last after harvesting, return will be as in a form of good crop. Return कैसे मिलेगा उसको? Good crop के form में, right? पहले उसे बहुत सारे स्टेप करने हैं, 5 to 6 months उसने कंटिन्यूस हार्ड वर्क किया, only then he will be able to get a good crops. If the person is not able to provide the proper fertilizer, if a farmer is not able to provide the time to time irrigation to the plant, or if there is a drought condition, or if any insects, rats are also there destructed or disturbed to the crop, then also there will be loss of food or grain or the crop, and in that condition the production will be very less. And if the investments are in a better manner, production will be in a better manner. Okay, now similar on the human capital. You got it? अब क्वेश्चन कह रहा है कि जिस तरह से फिजिकल इन्वेस्टमेंट जिस तरह से फिजिकल कैपिटल पे इन्वेस्टमेंट किया जाता है, सिमिलरली ह्यूमन कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट भी काम करता है. हाउ? नाउ इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द ह्यूमन कैपिटल, investment on human capital. Now I'm taking here a simple example regarding to you, right? Simple example, you can understand it, that your parents, you are also investing and doing your efforts, right? Here you are doing your efforts to get a good education, right? You pay attention about your health. Later on you will try to provide or to you would like to get a good manage or arrange good skill and ability also, right? Similarly, if I say that your parents are investing on you via providing better education, best education to you, they are providing good healthcare facilities, a good diet to you, nutritious diet to you, so the better growth of your brain, your body. And similarly, later on some of parents are investing on providing the better skill and ability, etc. And that all process will take time, right? This is not only the process कि हमने 6 महीने किया और हमें रिजल्ट मिल जाएगा. It's a very time taking process. Whatever the investment is done on the human capital, whatever the investment, जो भी investment हमने इस human capital पे किया, that is as a form of education, providing health, providing skill, ability, etc., that will return in future. वो return हमें कहाँ मिलेगा? Future में it will return in future. And how it will be in future? The return will be in future that if your parents invested, your parents played your duty, okay? They are investing on you, providing good education, anyhow according to their situation, providing all the facilities to you, providing the good health to you, providing the skill and abilities related, like some of you are interested for music, for drawing, for sports. If possibilities are there, things are available in the area, nearby area, they always support to you also. Then finally, after a period of time, after few years, it will return to you when you will be able to get a good job. Good job, that's mean the good salary. So that's mean that salary is a return. They invested on you, on your education, health, skill, and for that they need capital, or that capital is at a moving capital. that is money, and that will return again, वो वापस हो जाती है in future में. और कब होगी? When you will be able to get a good job with a good salary. That good salary will be as in a double. अब वो double कैसे होगी? It's depend on you. Here you learn that as if the farmer is paying the good attention or paying the full attention accordingly, time to time, proper looking after the plants or the crops or the farming area, then of course surely crop will be in a better manner and good cropping will be there after harvesting. Similarly, if you are also paying good attention on your studies or you are doing your regular efforts, then surely you will be able to have a good marks, and your good marks is your result on every annual year, right? Your first return result is your good marks. Your marks is a first return for you. साल भर आपने मेहनत की, साल भर के लास्ट एग्जाम के बाद आपके जो मार्क्स परसेंटेज बनी वो आपका रिटर्न है. एंड अ लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम व्हेन यू विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड ऑल दीज कॉन्सेप्ट, यू विल बी एबल टू join any particular profession, able to get a good job, then good salary, then it will return to you and to your parents also. Understand? So in this way, the investment on human capital is similar to the investment on physical capital. Hope you understood, right? So surely, yes, investment on human capital is similar to the investment on human capital as this example I shown to you. You can take your own example. Okay? So dear student, you pay attention properly, okay, and return in a good manner. Now moving on, next topic is economic activities. Economic activities is also not new for you. You learn this one is in your class 8th also, and in the first one chapter also we discuss about the economic activities. So in short, again we are discussing here. The economic activities are classified as in a 3 economic activities. Economic means which we do for the earning purpose. First is primary activity, second is a secondary activity, and third is a tertiary activity. So primary activity is related to the direct extraction of the natural resources like the agriculture, fishing, mining, etc. Secondary activity is related to the manufacturing process. It could be industrialization, it could be manufacturing of bricks, manufacturing of earthen pots or any other thing. कुछ भी हम बना रहे हैं उस manufacturing process को by taking the natural resources is called the, or the other goods, it's called the secondary sector or the secondary activity. And third is a tertiary activity. Tertiary activity is not basically related to any type of production or any type of farming. In fact, tertiary sector is related to provide the different type of services like transportation, communication, banking, as well as the different many other services, like if you are getting the facilities of restaurants, if you are getting the better facilities of hotels when you go to visit to any area, or facility of barber, washerman, servant. So all all different type of services will be included under tertiary sector. ये सब tertiary sector के अंदर में ही आएंगे. Okay, so economic activities are classified under 3 sectors: primary, secondary and tertiary. After that, we are going to the last topic or last point of this chapter, that is unemployment. Now unemployment is also not new for you. Most of the topics you learn earlier also, and you have listened in your day-to-day life. Now the concept is that, do you have a clear meanings about the unemployment? Let's see. What is unemployment? So unemployment is a condition when a person wants to do work, when a person is interested and wish to get work but not able to get any job, any work. This is unemployment. Okay, and it is also for the male above the age of 15 and below the age of 59. Under the definition of the economics, under the proper definition of the unemployment, we count a person above the age of 18 and below the age of 59, those who are interested to do work but not able to get the proper job will be pronounced as unemployment. ओके अब जो भी काम नहीं कर रहा है हम उसको अनएम्प्लॉयड नहीं कहेंगे. एक 10 साल का बच्चा खाली बैठा है, हम उसको अनएम्प्लॉयड नहीं कह सकते. एंड इफ आई टॉक अबाउट अ वुमेन हु is a simply housewife and she is not interested, I cannot say that she is unemployed. A person above the age of 60 cannot be considered unemployed. Okay, so the person above the age of 15, below the age of 59, or the below the age of 60 means up to the age of 59, when a person is interested to do work but not able to get the work, this condition is unemployment. Types of unemployment we study as in a three bifurcated form. First is a structural unemployment, second is a disguised unemployment, and third is a seasonal unemployment. Now what are these three types? First, structural unemployment. Structural unemployment is simply telling us that mostly at present time we can see that male and female both are getting education, and after getting education, well education, they aspire to get a good job, but according to the population, job opportunities are not available. In fact, or we can say that job opportunities are very limited according to that required population. So our job providing sectors are not sufficient to provide job to all the person, all those who want to do work, who wish to do work. So this is called the structural unemployment, means all those who are interested to do work but not having a proper condition or the availability of the job, they are not able to get the work. It's this is the condition of structural unemployment, and this structural unemployment can be seen in our urban areas, in our cities areas, that most of the people are interested but due to this condition they are not able to get the proper job. Second is a disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment is a condition when a person is seen to do work, but in actual he is jobless. He is not, or we can say that his productivity is equivalent to zero, right? For an example, suppose I take a example of a plumber. If I talk example of a rickshaw puller, so do we have a fixed record that how many days the person is getting job? Now, suppose if I talk about a plumber, surely plumber would like to, a small plumber, if a plumber is a famous or government employed under the government job, I'm not talking about that one plumber. I'm talking about the plumber who is working privately and go for work on demand, on call. So such type of plumber of course would like to get work on the daily basis. वो ये तो नहीं चाहेगा उसे कभी काम मिले कभी नहीं मिले. He always try to do get the work, but he is not able to get work on the daily basis. Some days he may be able to get the work, but few days he is without work. So this is disguised unemployment. Why disguise? Because we are seeing that he is plumber. We are not saying that वो काम कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा है. अगर हमसे पूछा जाएगा तो हम क्या कहेंगे? हाँ वो काम करता है. क्या काम करता है? वो प्लम्बर है. But he is not regular for his work. But he is not regular for his job. Similarly, rickshaw puller, he sometime may have a 10 passenger for a single day. Sometime he may have only 1 or 2, and sometime he may have the 15 or more than 15 also. So this is disguised unemployment. Similarly, in case of the farming area, suppose in a farming area there is a big plot area, but not enough enough or a very big plot area. Suppose this plot area is we can say they're sowing seeds with the particular type of pulses, vegetables, or any type of wheat and rice. Okay. Now in a family, if there are 8 members, and these 8 members, they all are showing themselves as a farming. They are engaged in the farming. अब ये 8 के 8 अपने आप को दिखा रहे हैं कि हम farming में engaged हैं. लेकिन that plot area is not enough big. This is hardly the 2000 square meter, and 2000 square meter is a very limited plot area. So that working of that plot is not required the working of all those 8. If we remove the 4 people from here, then also 4 people could easily do work within this area. सिर्फ 4 भी काम करेंगे तब भी काम हो जाएगा. But whenever they are asked from the family, they show themselves, and that family is simply known with the farming family. So this type of unemployment is called disguised unemployment, where a person is seen to employed, but in actual manner his productivity is not enough, or sometime it may be equivalent to 0 also. Okay. And last is a seasonal activity, seasonal unemployment. What is seasonal unemployment? A very simple example is that in case of the agriculture area, the farming laborers get work for few months during the sowing period, during the harvesting period. In between 3-4 months, they are jobless. They are not having enough work. So this is called the seasonal unemployment. यानी उनका फिक्स टाइम होता है कि कुछ पर्टिकुलर टाइम में उन्हें काम मिलेगा और कुछ पर्टिकुलर टाइम पे उन्हें काम नहीं मिलता है, एंड दे आर नोन फॉर दैट ऑल्सो. दिस इज कॉल्ड द सीजनल अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट. सो अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट वी स्टडी अंडर दीज 3 headings: structural unemployment, second is a disguised unemployment, and third is a seasonal unemployment. Right? Government also initiated so many policies or poverty alleviation programs similar to the alleviation of the unemployment. Government initiated the Skill India program to make self-dependent, and some other policies also initiated. Government is initiating to provide the better education for the better skilled or bright students, like providing the scholarship, etc. So in this way, some policies initiated, but these are not enough according to the population. These are very, very limited. So anyhow, that is the complete chapter we study. That chapter you learn as a people as resource. We study people means population, population as a whole. Resource mean anything which can be transformed into benefit, then seen as an asset. Okay, and that asset only via investment on education and medical facilities. Otherwise, such a population is only a liability. I gave you example of 2 countries to clarify the liability and asset. Liability, the population of India; asset, the population of Japan. You may take example of China also. So in this way, that complete chapter we discuss under all these points is that how the human resource, human capital is superior one, and how human capital is superior one, or how we can develop the human capital. We learn is about the role of education and role of health in the human capital formation. We learn that how investment on human capital is similar to the investment on physical capital, and we talk about the 3 different economic sectors. And finally, we talk about the unemployment and types of unemployment. Okay, so this is the completion of the chapter, and hope understood, and now understand that and go through the explanation, and better is that go through your text also.